Okay. This earlier this morning, I had a text message from a good friend of mine in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I lived for 32 years. And he was telling me that some long-term, a very long-term client of mine was not doing well and was probably going to be passing soon. And I got that message as I was going out into the world to just do some grocery shopping. And I was noticing in the world, now I live on an island where people take vacations. It's oftentimes true of islands. And so the summer is very different than the rest of the year in terms of the amount of people on the island, the amount of traffic, and the speed at which people drive. And I was very aware that people just seem to be driving faster, and the energy was more race car feeling, even though these are just, all back roads. There's one main highway that goes from the bottom to the top of the bottom to the top of the island, and the rest of the roads are just side roads to get you to people's houses and the few little towns that there are. But when I got to the grocery store, I realized how much there must be going on in the world, because I'm a person who avoids news to the best of my ability. The only news I'm interested in is the news from clients I'm working with in terms of how they're doing. That's news I'm interested in, and when things change. And my experience in the world, and this is kind of like a more traditional grocery store, kind of larger store with more stuff, more employees, even though it's on the south end of the island. And I was very aware today of how many people are wearing masks. And one can speculate in terms of why people are still wearing masks. To me, the mask is a sign of fear, kind of a representation of a person's germophobia. And I also understand that many people who have been working with both the purported virus and the solution to that virus, anyway, has appeared to create some chronic health issues, things that just aren't going away for people. And I'm very aware that our health is our number one resource. So when we lose our health, lose our sense of well-being, lose our ability to function in the world, it's a grave loss. And I feel that. Now, many of the, there's so much loss going on now in the world in terms of the numbers of people who are currently passing away, that it has seems to have very little to do with fear that was the basis for the emergency medical procedure that was initiated and was received by, my understanding is, over half of the world's population. And so that type of thing where we went from the fear of being involved in a plague, which I think we have in our genetic system, this fear, because various of our ancestors, were involved in these things. So there is possibly an inherent fear of, there is an inherent fear of dying, and then fear can be used to motivate people to take particular actions that someone may want them to take for a variety of reasons, and people have different ideas what those reasons are for all of these things that are going on. I feel like the reading I did earlier, Attuned, from the book Attuned by Thomas Hübl, was very useful. And I think I did, a reading of that book. I did a Mayan calendar reading. I did a tarot card reading. And the tarot card reading had to do with relationships. There was Six of Trumps, which is the Lover's card, and also the 11th of Trumps, which is the Strength card, and just vibrational luster, and how luster and energy moving is what our relationship is about. It's about the energy moving inside of us, and then the energy moving between us, and the sharing of this life force and this expansion of this life force, so that we have the power to heal ourselves. We have the power to assist others to heal in this spaciousness. So in the Thomas Hübl book reading, Attuned, he was talking about the spaciousness to receive another, and that how this can't happen when people are all caught inside their contracted thinking, their contracted energy. So when we're caught in this, oh, I'm so afraid energy, I can't take any more in, and our minds are racing around, there's no space to actually think. We need to stop. We just need to stop and breathe. And breathe deeper. And yawn. And create space for ourselves. And I'm just going to tell you one exercise that you can do to create that space for yourself that typically will make you feel a lot better if you're feeling contracted. And the exercise is this. You imagine yourself moving outside of yourself, so you may consider yourself to be this physical self and this energetic self. you go out 3 feet. So you go out to the length that your arms go out. It's approximately 3 feet. And you notice the difference in your experience when you're 3 feet outside of yourself. And you just make note of your experience. And then you just keep doubling it. So you go to 6 feet. Notice your experience at 6 feet. Notice if I'm not going to lead you into an experience. I'm just going to tell you, others have said when they get to 6 feet, they say, oh, it's easier to breathe. So if you find it easier to breathe, fine. If you don't, that's fine. From 6 feet, just note your experience, then go to 12 feet. Note your experience, hang out at 12 feet in that space, and then go to 24 feet and hang out in that space. And again, it continues one more time. Go out to 48 feet, feel yourself in that space, and then go beyond 48 feet. Because 48 feet is the size of the container, and when we go beyond 48 feet, we're out of the container. And then we're just connected to the oneness. We could say to 5D reality, whatever we would want to say. So there are some words, and there's a story, and there's a way to practice giving yourself some space so you can handle a bit better all the things that appear to be going on in the world right now that are affecting others and us and all of us. We're all one, so we're all being affected and affecting others. And when we are at peace in spaciousness, that's the effect we have on others. Okay, now let's go.